Okay, so they're the main characters, and he's in love with her, but she's really hard to satisfy, and she's also really cold, and she's kind of like, every time he does something, she's just like, oh, okay, like just like not responsive. And then, anyway, so he gets really, really frustrated, and then like, so then he goes to her house one night, and he's just like, he basically rapes her, and he's like, do you like that? Like, is this what you want? Like, do you like that? And she's just, again, like, nothing, like, no expression, no nothing whatsoever. And then he starts crying, and like, he gets frustrated, and then like, he gets frustrated because he's all turned on by it, but she's not, again, like, always, she can't, you know? And then, so she just, like, gets up and starts putting her robe on, like nothing even happened, and he's over here crying, like,
Benevolent, and welcome to the Blessed Love Show with David Dimitri. Hey, giving the limelight to the real everyday people that are shining, but not getting what they deserve. Love. Benevolence. David Dimitri, coming at you as fly as I can, letting the iration vibrations into your heart and spirit. And remember, your vibrations, your iration is coming to me. Without you, I don't exist. This is not worth it. But you know what? You make me in this show everything it is. One love. Today we're bringing you something special, something artistic, something that can help you flow and help you realize another level. Because all we influence you with is you. Because all you are is potential manifested. I want to introduce a great friend of mine, an artist, immaculate. Her name is NYX. Welcome. What's up, NYX?
hi.
Peace, blessings.
Peace.
Hey, I'm happy you here. People, y'all gotta know something. I want you to know that you're special, and this is you. She's you, and she's a manifestation of specialness. And that's why I wanted to do this report with you, sister, because you're so special. It's so unique how I met you. I mean, how old are you? Where are you from? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm 20 years old, almost 21.
All right.
I was born in San Bernardino,
Is it?
raised in Rialto.
What?
Then, yeah, I went to high school in Moreno Valley.
Right
That's
on.
random.
So I met her on campus at California State University, San Bernardino. And what was so unique about meeting you was it was in the moment.
Yeah.
And I looked to the side and I saw a room with all kind of art going on, all kind of people. It was like a movie scene. People with these artistic suits on, not artistic suits on, but they were like as if they were going to a high class art gallery. And so I gravitated toward it. It was like I resonated. And when I walked in, it was all this art over the walls. And I looked to the side, you walked up. So tell us, how did you end up having your art at a gallery?
Actually, the art department in Cal State San Bernardino is super, super supportive. And
Right on.
you pretty much just have to ask to have your art up in that gallery.
Yeah.
And that's what I did, and that was actually my second show there in that gallery. That
Is
you
it?
saw.
Is it?
Yeah.
Do you bring some of the same art to your second show, or is it new?
It was new. The only one that was there in the first one was the little statue, like the little sculpture I made.
That was so tight. How did you make that little? It's of a pregnant woman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's nude. She's like sitting down in her peace position. How did you end up doing it? What did you make that out of?
So that's like my favorite, one of my favorites, because I use hot glue. So she's made out of hot glue.
Is it?
And it's crazy because the way I do it is really painful.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm sculpting with hot glue, so you're just...
With your
You
fingers?
shoot the glue out.
Let me see.
And then you start sculpting
Oh, wow,
all
dang.
fast.
No, I'm just playing. But why don't you tell us a little bit about what kind of art you do? Because you have she has a lot of different type of art.
So recently, the paintings that you saw were on brown packing paper. Yeah, it was just, I found a roll in the corner of the classroom, and I just started painting on it. And I usually paint on canvas, though. Canvas is really expensive.
Okay.
But I like the packing paper because it's more, it's easier to work with.
Well, I personally loved what you did, all right? And it was very mature and very spontaneous, unique, and expressionist. Let's talk a little bit more about what you expressed in this specific art coming up. Soul Ties CarmicRecall.com for all you need. You're watching the Blessed Love Show with David Dimitri. Hey. Here in the city of San Bernardino, Cal State University, San Bernardino, in the art department, we're here with a beautiful, awesome goddess, and she's come to earth to express herself in awesome ways. She's only just begun. That's her name, NYX, if you want to look her up. Right back at you, David Dimitri. Here, Blessed Love, getting a focus in on Sister NYX, the expressionist artist. Hey, I'm really wondering on these messages you sent in your art, like what they captured our day and time. I mean, it's March, it's 2017, and it was the current events. It was almost as if you were giving us news. That's really why I wanted this report with you. Like, what got you to actually do that with your art?
Well, it's hard not to.
Okay, dang. All right, holler at me.
Because it's taking over so many things, like family and
all the politics, huh?
Yeah.
This is out of the, dang.
And it affects everything.
Wow.
So it's hard not to.
Do you feel like me, like it's negative vibrations?
Yeah.
So
it's negative, but at the same time, it's kind of positive because now there's this unity and
yes,
people want to be united now, and they're going out of their way to do these things and talk to each other and communicate and help each other out.
Yeah, people who would probably taken it for granted before.
Yeah.
Okay. I just really, really, really admire what you've done, because let's look into the psychology of art. Let's look into the psychology. How many of you there actually have ever wrote a poem? How many of you actually memorized it and got up and expressed a poem? How many of you have done a poem, a painting on canvas? How many of you got to the point where it's a lifestyle? For her, it's a lifestyle. So you might think this, take for granted and everything, but that's a mistake. We don't want to take things for granted. This is a real life, and she's at a stage of her life where she's actually the living embodiment of that art. She's expressed it. She's captured those feelings and she gave it to us. How did you get so far?
Well, actually, I think it has a lot to do with me being a very emotional person. And so, I don't know, any kind of art, music, or anything, my favorite kind of anything is the kind of art that you can feel something.
Yeah, this one was more personal, yeah. So this one on the top was, I like to write without thinking sometimes. Like you just start writing and don't think about what you're writing at all, kind of thing. And don't worry about misspelling or nothing, you just write. And so that's what I did with that one. So this whole section actually is about my personal relationship. And
Feel it.
And you can tell that there's emotion.
It grabs you.
Yeah, I love that.
I do too. Your art did that. Yeah. It did that for me. It made you a special person for me. It made her a special person for me. I just had to do that. I'm so amped up and happy that you're here. How is it that, do you have, it was so political. but it was so necessary. How would you feel those people that disagree? What feeling would you want them to get? And what would you feel that your art can inspire in them? The fact that they are supporting those politricksters that you made your art and showed them as the monsters they are. Because I'm in full agreement in everything your art said. So I'm in agreement with her. So you know she down. She down. Give it to her. The sister's real. So she's a liberationist in my vision. This is a person that if I was a leader of the society, I would make her a leader and decision maker. So what is it that you want those that are against your stance, and when they see it in your art, what would you like to inspire in them? How would you want them to feel?
I want them to think. That's it, because I don't think they're thinking hard enough.
Wow.
There's no way.
Dang.
There's no way that they're really thinking when they're full-heartedly supporting some of these things.
Okay.
It's like,
Right.
there's no way they're using their brain.
Soul Ties KarmicRecall.com for all you need. You're watching the Blessed Love Show with David Dimitri. Hey.
So these ones were prints that I did. They started off as prints, but I didn't like them. I didn't like them at all. And so I just drew over them with pastel, like colored pastel.
Wow.
Yeah, they just didn't. Yeah.
That is so beautiful to me.
Like, I want people to feel something, and I want people to think. So I don't want to, just because I don't like it, I don't think it's fair to not show it. Because someone else might like it or get something out of it.
Very unselfish. I like it. And I really like this one. Can you explain this one?
This one was crazy too, because this one is kind of self-hating, and most people, when they see it, they think that it's the opposite, or
That's what I saw.
yeah, and I understand that. I mean, it makes sense to conclude that, but the reason for this painting, actually, it was an assignment that we had to, for one of my painting classes, we had to paint something and like take something or someone that we care about or we have some feelings about, and then just mess it up completely. And so my professor was saying like, oh, maybe you should like take your time doing a painting on someone that you hate and then like just like unleash. And I was thinking, and I was like, what do I hate? And I was like, I was really reflecting and thinking about myself and in my past and everything, and I kind of just wanted to like say goodbye to this person, like this version of me that prioritized other things. That's what this painting is for, actually. It's kind of to describe this painting. It's kind of just like not wanting to give full attention to sexual needs or desires, and like because you just end up being like a cold person.
Wow. Wow.
You end up hurting other people, basically.
Wow. Is art, is it therapeutic for you?
It has been lately, yeah. I don't know, like when I first started it was for fun, but it has just become extremely emotional lately. And just like, I've just been like picking at the like darkest things in my mind, like, you know, like repressed memories, like things you don't want to think about anymore. And I'm just like, I'm going to put this on the canvas, and just like, that's kind of my way of just like letting it go kind of thing and moving on. Yeah.
Your life is going to waste on the social media platforms where you don't own stock. Join Prime Up International. Own stock. You know what I find? People that support people that are these political dogmatic actors, I would like to say, they live in a bubble. And it is impossible for President Donald Trump to not have lived his life in a bubble. For that woman that was born to a billionaire that thinks she knows enough that she wants to help the world. I'm not saying anything's wrong with billionaire. I love wealth. I'm not against mirth. But they're in a bubble. They don't know how real people, and they don't care. This is the issue for me. Your art expressed that somehow. Her art took me down to earth. No, I'm already down to earth. Your art made me feel like I wasn't just down to earth, but that I mattered. Did you know it did that?
No.
Is that something you wanted out of it?
I'm happy that it did that.
Well, I'm happy that it did it too.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, how about your social media piece? What was your inspiration? What inspired you to do that?
Basically the fact that there are some people that feel, or it seems like they don't have a life out of social media.
That you look, we have to have a life outside of social media.
And it's like they can't enjoy things without having to post about it, or they can't just not enjoy things. Like,
right.
Sometimes people will go out of their way to do something crazy so that they can get a picture of it and then get likes, or I don't know. But I just feel like you kind of lose your identity because you're not really being a person. You're just being something that's gonna get you these likes, or like the same way MySpace was. Like you edit your profile so it looks all dope.
Yeah, I remember MySpace.
That's how it is. Like you edit how you look so that you look dope. But I don't think that's real or true.
Right, it's not.
There's no substance there. And that piece was called No Self Without Selfies.
Wow, no self without selfies. Well, we're going to get right back at you. Your life is going to waste in the social media platforms where you don't own stock. Join Prime Up International. Own stock. You're watching the Blessed Love Show with David Dimitri. Hey. And so, let's look at some of her art. I mean, what's this about?
So, this one was actually kind of funny because I was, this last Easter that just passed, I thought it was funny because my parents were making lamb for Easter.
Is it?
Yeah, and one of the prayers says, Lamb of God, have mercy on us.
Okay.
I just thought it, so I made a painting about it.
Yeah.
I don't eat meat, so yeah.
Okay, so this is interesting how out of that concept came this. This is dope. I mean, think about it. This is fly. I'm looking at this, and without you telling me that when it says the Lamb of God, I'm thinking Christian. And it says, the Lamb of God, have mercy on me, and have mercy on us. There's a guy there. He looks like, what is he, slaughtering the animals?
That's how they make milk.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see. And that's a cow. That's the tail. And these are some people. Ejaculation is murder. Every life deserves a lifetime. And so that's a message for animals' sake, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting because, animals eat animals, some animals don't, right? So humans, we make a choice to eat animals. I don't eat much meat myself. I used to be a vegetarian for 6 years of my life. And so the thing is, I wouldn't drink milk. I wouldn't drink milk from an animal. I understand this completely, and I'm so glad that she brought this up, because to me it's kind of like some of the stuff in religion is real creepy, like the blood of this, that scared me. I watched a scary movie and it's the same thing, so but I think this is real nice. Right back at you, David and Michi. Sister NYX, bringing the art, keeping it live. That's what we do. Look, I'm loving it. I loved your piece on social media. I loved all of it. Okay? And I love the piece that you have with the artist, the music artist. And, all these pieces that you are seeing are from her. So I just want to mention with the social media, with your aspirations for it, I did a lecture, an interview with Sister Allison Grant, and we talked about the effects, psychological effects and social effects of social media on individuals and society. It was pretty deep. And you can all check that out on my YouTubes. But I would just like to say, psychologically, I could never had imagined myself falling so under control of social media as I had, because I avoided it as a kid with video games. And as a teenager, I never let myself become a video game slave. Psychologically, I just could never let myself do it. But I will admit, I have been weak to social media. But at least in my social media, I use my social media as I'm doing this show to do social activism, to reach people, to be a truth advocate, the truth and holding the faith, where being a defender of truth and a spreader of truth. So I love you as a fellow liberationist. I appreciate you. Why don't you tell us what you have goals for in changing the world with your art? What do you have any spiritual and any political aspirations with your art?
Like I said, I just want to provoke thought, and that has a lot to do with why I left social media. It was just because the only people that see your art are your followers.
You left social media? She left social. You mean you have no social media? And you were on social media for years, and you have a hiatus. When did you do this?
The day of my show, I deleted it.
The day we met.
Yeah.
It's the reason why we met. This is getting deep, because I almost started to cut my social media off. Well, this might be a reason that I can tell us the reason why.
So there's many reasons why. The people on there were frustrating me, but also I was frustrating me
by just comparing myself to different artists and being like, oh, like, why don't I have 4K followers?
Right.
Like, or like, oh, she's so beautiful and she paints, or like, I don't know, just
right.
You just find yourself comparing yourself. Like, I just think it's only natural, and at the same time, it was a waste of time. And anyway, one of the main reasons I started painting was because I felt like I wanted people to see what I had.
Could it have been therapeutic for you too?
Yeah, at the same time. Well,
so then the social media destroys the therapy.
It destroys a lot of things.
And so the therapy makes you healthy by doing the art, but then you trying to influence the world by putting your art there, and then it becomes an emotional
roller coaster. Yeah, it's crazy. And also, like I said, the only people that see your art on your social media are your followers.
Right.
And it's not easy to get followers out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, I've always wanted my art to be accessible. Okay. So I'm down for gallery shows. I want that. Okay. But I also want to do street art, because it's like even the gallery at school, like only the art students in the art building were the ones that saw it. But the students there's students that don't even know we have an art building, right, or a museum or a gallery. Right. So it's not as accessible as just putting it right there on the street. Anyone can see it. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And so it's not getting the effect in the world as it needs to be. Yeah, I want it the way it has made you feel. I want more people to feel that way.
Your life is going to waste in the social media platforms where you don't own stock. Join Crime Up International. Own stock. You are watching the Blessed Love Show with David Dimitri. Hey. I bet the children that were killed wish there were no such thing as guns. And then there's more crossed out here. And the children whose fathers were killed by guns can no longer trust no one. These are people. These are people. I didn't know these were people. Explain this, please.
So these are wood pallets that are usually used for moving things. And so this piece was called Go Back to Where You Came From. How a certain someone is trying to get rid of
Certain people.
certain people in our country. And yeah.
Wow. This is very, very significant. Who knows who this is? Do you know who this is? Bring your memory up. This person right here with the orange, Jill Sunan. I know who it was. I know her cousin personally. So these are people that were slain by police officers. Some kind of agenda was going on the last few years where police officers were like petitioned to kill a lot of unarmed people. And that has been going on since the United States ever started. Not only the United States, every country in the world, governments have a problem with that. I think the nuance of government isn't perfectible. It's not just imperfect, it's not perfectible.
I just feel like some people use the All Lives Matter as a distraction to take away from the Black Lives Matter movement. Because it's true that all lives matter, but I don't know. I just think if all lives matter, then Black lives matter too. So there's no point in saying, no, it's not Black lives matter, it's all lives matter.
Yeah, right. Because for this specific situation, it's the black people being killed. So, right. So you know where she's coming from, and that's called realness. Because there's some black people that's running around saying all lives matter. So we know how rich they are. They just happen to be better than everybody. It's that type. So, and with my followers and everyone that sees this report, I hope they understand the importance of supporting artists. If any in the future, any galleries and anywhere I know, and anyone I know, I can get you a plug that you could put your art. I'm going to do so. If any of you know, won't you give your social media connections? And I would inspire you to try to give social media another chance. But I'll tell you this very fast, that I had someone dear to me who's a queen to me. She loves me and she helped me when I released my book series and my social media, and I didn't get the following, and people didn't purchase, and people weren't responding like I wanted. It hurt. And I know how it feels. But once you give your social media, and probably give social media a chance again, now I'll see what I can do on trying to get you some, even if you don't do social media, why don't you show some love, tell people what you would want for them.
Well, I think in all realness, I do my art for myself. So, I don't know, I guess I don't know, I'm trying to spread love and thought.
Good, that's it. So everyone, keep in mind that spreading love is important, and that not everyone that you will cherish and that you would invest money into in time has to be on television and famous and having 1 million followers on social media. In fact, the best people in the world are just probably more than likely, and yes, they are organic. So with that in mind, keep tuning in to News Note with David and Dimitri. And remember, my love is with you.
Happy time.
Appreciate it. I love that tattoo right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty fly. I know that. Well, thanks for coming. We're gonna put it together. Yeah, but
Actually, this side of my shoes is way better.
okay. That was the Blessed Love Show with David Dimitri. Hey, giving a limelight to the real everyday people that are shining, but not getting what they deserve. Love.